Welcome to the channel and welcome back to the time of the Horus Heresy. It's Night Lords versus Sons of Horus and Admech. In this battle report, the Night Lords and the Sons of Horus has come to blow as Horus goes further and further and further towards Terra. Cracks are appearing in his force, and the Night Lords, led by Curze himself, are going to pick on a force of the Sons of Horus. Horus isn't going to be deployed today. It felt narratively astute. I mean, Curze would certainly not have a go at the Sons of Horus if Horus was around, but he's not around. So they're going to try and rip this force up. The Sons of Horus, however, have got access to the House of the Dragon, which is some of the Adeptus Mechanicus units that you will see. And so fittingly as well, we thought we would play a War of Lies. That's the game when you have 5 objectives on the table. These barrels here. There's one there and one there. One as close to the center of the table as you can make it. One over there and one there. It's essentially a kill point game. You get a point for every single unit that you wipe out. And at the end of the game, these are worth random objectives. And you roll a dice to find out how much they're worth. I think a 0 is nothing. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're worth 1 to 3 points. And on a 6, if you score one of these objectives, you'll lose minus D3 points. So essentially, you could be in the lead at the end of the game and control multiple objectives because you've wiped out most of your opponent's army. And then in the War of Lies, these could turn out to hurt you. These could turn out to make you lose a game. And that's happened to me more than once, I'm afraid to say. So those are the rules for the game. We're playing Dawn of War deployment. We don't know who's got what table edge yet. And there's a couple of things I need to mention first. So first up, I am in the studio of Imperium Gaming. Back with Ian one more time. Thanks for inviting me in.
You're welcome.
And there's seagulls up ahead. Sorry about that. It might rain. And if it rains, this house will get a little... We're in the conservatory, so it might get a little bit loud, so I'll have to start shouting. But so far, the weather looks quite glorious down here in the West Country. It looks like we're going to have a very good day. And the last thing I do want to mention is I've been playing a lot of 8th edition recently, and this is the first time I'm dipping back into the 7th edition rule set, because of course games of the Horus Heresy are still set back in the 7th edition, so there will be the odd mistake here or there. We're going to have to book dip as much as possible to make sure we don't make as many mistakes, or try and avoid making mistakes as much as possible. So yeah. And it will also be interesting from my point of view to compare what 7th edition was on the Horus Heresy back to 8th edition. To be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm kind of looking forward to having a game, good old-fashioned game of 7th edition and seeing what stuff used to do and having a nice chat about it at the end of the game. So anyway, War of Lies. The Night Lords are going to ambush a section of the Sons of Horus. Let's go and have a look at these armies. This is my army. I guess I should have mentioned this is a 3,500 point game. And leading the force today is a Praetor in Cataphractii armor with a Volkite charger and a master crafted Paragon blade with digital weapons. What does that mean? It means he's got a base 5 attacks at initiative 5, reroll and hit. Strength 5, AP 2, instant death on 6s. Frightening. And the chapter thingy-bob, I want to say chapter tactics that I'm taking is called the Long March, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 elites, but with the Long March, Terminators count as troops, and it gives me relentless in my deployment zone, fleet in no man's land. It allows me to reroll hit rolls of 1 in the first turn, called the War Master's portion. So these Terminators are actually troops. And in there you can see a mixture of axes, power fists, chain fists. They'll be riding in a Spartan with a course of flare shield and ceramite plating. Don't leave home without it. 2 units of standard troops. I know people like the vets options and spam the vets with bolters and flamers with sniper rounds, but I think it's a bit cheesy, so I prefer to go with just vets. Dozer blades on the rhinos, and the sergeants have got artificer armor and combi plasmas. 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts, talking about cheesy, this is my cheese. They've both got ceramite plating, storm cannon, Volkite blasters, the melt gun, Mortar's Contempt to Dreadnought, just too good not to bring. The Rapier Laser Battery, Strength 9, AP 1. Rerolling Armor Pen for vehicles, twin linked as well, so they're very good at popping open armor, but they're only 36-inch range. 2 quad mortars, and I don't bring Phosphex either. I think Phosphex is a little bit broken, so it's just standard quad mortars here to suppress. I did buy Shatter Shells though, so Shatter Shells is Strength 8 AP 4, and that will chuck out 8 Shatter Shell shots. Then in the Mechanicum Tagmata, I have an Archmagos Prime Malagra with a Cyber Familiar and a Mechndrite harness. What does all that mean? It means I've got a 2-up save with a 3-up in Vun, and I've got a lot of attacks, and he gets precision strikes and stuff against characters, and that's a Mastercrafted Power Axe as well. Basically, with a 3-up in Vun and a lot of attacks, he can be pretty brutal in combat. And I typically bury him in one of the units of Tech Thralls here. They've got Rite of Pure Thought and Carapace Armor, so a 4-up save, and with Rite of Pure Thought, they're fearless. Just 2 big blobs to sit on an objective somewhere, some with Laslox, some with Mitralox, and I brought 2 units of Uzurax. These guys are terrifying. There's 4 Power Fists in each squad and 2 Claws. They're jump infantry, so they're quick. They've got 3 attacks base with their 2 claws or 2 fists, because it gives them one attack. Strength 5 with the claws, strength 10 with the fists. So that would be 4 attacks with claws or 4 attacks with fists on the charge. They have a 4-up save with 3 wounds at toughness 5 and a feel no pain. They are brutal and very hard to shift, and they're also stubborn. So all the fear tactics of the Night Lords, doing minuses to modifiers, leadership modifiers, won't work on these guys. They'll still have to roll for it, so they could still potentially run away or get swept. Of course, these guys are fearless. They're the only fearless thing in my army. So definitely need to stick my Warlords, buried them in one of those squads there. But these guys, pretty terrifying as Rax, as well as Leviathan Dreadnoughts, pretty terrifying. Spartans are terrifying. 10-unit of Terminators are terrifying. I've got a lot of significant threats to keep the Night Lords engaged, but the Night Lords have a Primarch. Let's go and have a look at Ian's army. Alright, this is 3,500 points worth of Night Lords, led by the Primarch Conrad Curze himself. What have you got, Ian?
So, along with, obviously, Conrad as the Warlord, I've got Sevatar with his repressed psychic powers. I've got a fairly bare bones Praetor. He has got a Volkite Charger and a plain close combat weapon. This is my first 30k game, so I'm learning. I have a Chaplain.
Yep.
And then filling my troops choices, I've got a lot of small squads. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots of Terror squads. So these are 5-man guys. They're using close combat weapons, bolt pistols and bolt guns. And there are a few special weapons, close combat weapons across the list.
What do Terror squads do, Ian?
So they're normally elites, but
yeah.
they're troops with my Night Lord's Rite of War,
okay,
which is called Terror Assault.
Yeah.
And essentially they can infiltrate, they cause fear, they cause an enhanced fear because of the actual right that I'm using.
What's the right that you're using?
So it's called Terror Assault.
Yeah.
And you will have -1 on your leadership tests where it's appropriate when it comes to fear.
Okay.
Supporting them, I have a number of heavy supports. I've got the Fire Raptor.
Yeah.
I've got the Spartan. Same weapon loadout as yours.
Yeah.
And
ceramic plate and flare shield.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Don't leave home without it.
And the Sicaran.
Yeah.
Or Sicaran. Never quite sure how you say that.
I think it depends if you're American or not.
Sicaran.
Sicaran.
Then I've got 2 Contemptors.
Yeah.
Both with Havoc launchers on top. They're 2 separate units.
These are very pretty.
And then to support them, I've also got 10 Night Raptors.
Okay, so lots of little guys that cause fear running around all over the place. The only transports is the Spartan over there. You have got a Primarch. What's your Rite of War and what other special rules do you have?
Well, unfortunately, Conrad does have this power that his fear is at -3. So he's going to be looking to try and kill something in close combat, because if he does, it's almost like a 12-inch exploding bubble of fear to all enemy units. So you'll have to take a morale test at -3 and hopefully run away.
Yeah. When he slaughters someone, everyone around him sees what he does, and it's not pretty.
No,
and then they might decide to get out of there.
He is pretty nasty in close combat.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the things, all of my squads, if they're outnumbered when they go into close combat, they get +1 to hit and +1 to wound, which is why I've gone with lots of small squads.
Okay.
Might cost me in the long run, but I thought it's worth a try.
So +1 to hit, +1 to wound if you are outnumbered.
Yeah.
I've got Death Dealers and Merciless Fighters, which means that if I outnumber you at the end of a combat, then I can punch you again. It typically only works on the Tactical Marines. And also Death Dealers means I'm going to be hitting on 2s, Ballistic Skill 5 in 12-inch range with rapid fire weapons. Again, typically only affects the troops and the combi bolters on the Terminators. So we'll explain these special rules as and when they come into effect. No doubt you're watching this because or a lot of you are watching this because you are 30k players and you probably know the game better than we do. But we just have to bring this lovely new Night Lords army. It's new to Imperium Gaming. I'm sure you're going to see more battle reports featuring this army. Ian said, "Look what I've got," and I said, "Can I kill it?" And he said, "Yes." So that's why we are here doing this.
And he probably will.
Here we are after the deployment. The Night Lords are going first. Have failed to seize the initiative and they've infiltrated all the way across the line. So Dawn of War deployment, and some of these units are a bit further up. Should have mentioned during the army overview, these are a couple of, I think it's 2 or 3 detachments for battles in the Age of Darkness. Basically 2 or 3 of the standard force org things, which is why he's got so many troops and HQs. And all the HQs apart from Curze is in there with one of the terror squads. Curze is down here with these jumpy dudes because he has stealth and shrouded, which he gives to that squad as well. So they are well protected. And there's the only thing left in reserve for the Night Lords is the Fire Raptor. And this is what they look at. I put the quad mortars on this side with the mortars contemptor here. So he's got cover from the enemy Spartan. My Spartan's loaded up with my Praetor and 10 Terminators. Quite a kill squad there. And the 2 Leviathans holding the centre. They have a 4-up invulnerable save, so they take their cover with them. It doesn't matter whether they're in the open or behind a ruin. They'll always have that 4-up save. And then the House of the Dragon have been ordered to hold the left flank. So now the blob of Fearless guys and the 2 units of Ozarax here. So quite some significant punch here and quite some significant punch there. I've left my 2 units of troops in reserve in the Rhinos, ready to come on and steal these objectives. Remember, there's one just there and one just there, so they could quite easily get on here later on in the game rounds. And to be honest, in 8th edition 40k, you can't just pick a unit and put it in reserve, and I kind of missed that, so that's why I've stuck them in reserve. Remember, there's no first blood in this game. There is no line breaker. There is only slay the warlord and kill a unit. You get a point. And at the end of the game, we will roll for these objectives in this War of Lies. Will Curze be able to rip the Sons of Horus apart? He's obviously got a beef against them. Now Lupercal, now the War Master is not here. Will he be able to take his vengeance upon these Sons of Horus and slink back to the shadows, get away with that without any of the Sons of Horus or the Admech being able to report back to the fleet? Or is he going to be humiliated and then is someone going to tell him off? Will the Sons of Horus be able to retreat and tell the War Master what happened this day? Let's find out. Let's descend into turn 1. So in the movement phase, we have a brave advance from the Night Lords. This squad have got Volkite charges, 15-inch range. They are now in range of the unit of Adsecularis Covenant here. And Curze, he knows no fear. He's just jumping up and forward as close as he comes, as close as he can get to the central castle here. It looks like he's walking into a bunch of Leviathans there, but the Contemptor is in range, the Sikaran is in range. One of these Leviathans should die. Terror Squad moving up here. The Spartan stayed still because we got down, looking from Model's Eye sight, one of the quad guns, the quad laser arrays, the 2 twin-linked las cannons can fire across this way. The other one can fire down over here. He's completely hidden though, which is quite nice. And then the Contemptor moving up as well. These guys with Sunder are a threat to that Contemptor. He does need to hurt them with the Contemptor, with the Spartan. Otherwise they should be able to crack that Contemptor open. But an aggressive start from the Night Lords. They will get cover saves when I fire back at them in their turn, because that's what Night Lords do. So opening up hostilities, the Contemptor reaching out with a Havoc Launcher and these guys, and the quad gun and heavy bolters from that Spartan firing in down at my mortars down here, killing the 2 front gunners, putting this one down to 1 wound. Was getting a ruin save from those last cannon fires, otherwise that turret would have been dead. But that's all he's managed to do over here. And then the left gun, the other gun, fired across at this Spartan, was it? Or this one?
Yeah, the one on the right.
This one. And that's the roll to hit there. The Fur de Lis is a 6. So we've got 2 hits. So it's strength 9 on armor 13. Force to glance. And that's a glance. Just a glance with a 4 up and run. Which I make. The SM Battle Report logo is a 6. So joining in on this attack, the Mortis Contemptor firing his rounds into the Leviathan as well. This is 12 shots and he hits on 2s. And is that 11 hits?
That's 11 hits.
11 hits. Strength 6, armor 13, so you need 6s again. And 3 6s gets you up to strength 12. And then Ren, so plus D3 each.
So glance and 2 pence?
1 glance and 2 pence. Rending is just AP dash, so the glance gets through, and the 2 pence. Okay, so that's 2 getting through. What is the pen result? And the pen result is a weapon destroyed, I think. It's been such a long time.
Yeah, it is.
4 weapon systems on here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the arm. So if you...
Number
3 is one of the Volkite calibers, unfortunately. He's smoking, he's steaming, he's down to 2 hull points. He's not out of it yet, though. Determined to kill off this Leviathan, the Sikaran is now opening fire at him as well. What you're opening up with first?
So the accelerator cannons.
Accelerator cannon, 6 shots.
And these are twin linked.
Yep. Because it's fast, you can move 6 inches, fire all your guns, so they all can slam it in their strength.
7 rending.
Armor 13. Rending. Okay, so any 6s are auto pens. That's 3 pens. 3 4 up and runs. And I make them all. Oh dear.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. 2 las cannons firing in, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, strength 9. And it doesn't pen, just bounces off the front armor of that Leviathan. Then after the big guns spoke, some small arms fire from there into the artillery, because they're toughness 7, only lost 1. And then the deflagrate from the Volkite calibers actually cleared out 9 times, Bueller. The Adsecularis Covenant here. And then he put the bolt gun rounds into the Scissorax unit, only taking 1 wound off of it. And that's it. Basically, 9 of these guys dead, a wound there, some tickling to the Leviathan and the artillery. And that's it. So it's now my turn to respond to this aggression. It's automatically Night fighting in turn 1, right?
Yeah, that's right.
With Night Lords and any other shenanigans I need to be aware about. Never played Night Lords before.
So you've got on turn 2, because of my right of war, I can keep night fighting in on a 4+.
Can you?
And turn 3 on a 6+.
Okay, so it might be night time for a long time. The sun is clawing its way towards the horizon, but it's not there yet. And you do cause fear. So let's go on to Sons of Horus and Admech, turn 1. And I need a leadership test down here, leadership 8. They fail. Because I did lose the 2 gunners there. Am I falling back? I'm falling back 4 inches. This is going to be... They're off. They're off. There's no first blood in this game, but you did take out this artillery unit. Now we go on to Sons of Horus, turn 1. Damn. Here we are in the movement phase. Thanks for the Mechanica, Muggy, and I appreciate that. Props there. The Mortis Contemptor moving around, shots this way. Spartan just pivoting on the spot, making sure I'm keeping the majority of my armor facing towards his Spartan because of the flare shield shenanigans, and pivoting so I can bring all my guns to bear. And the Night Lord army has night fighting in turn 1. It's nighttime in turn 1. So if I fire down at those vehicles over there, they're getting a 3-up save because they're behind that ruin. So do I really want to put rounds into them? I guess it's the only thing it's firing at is down at the Sakaran or the Contemptor. Might as well. Despite having moved through cover, this Leviathan only rolled a 2. 2 2s and a 1. So he's gone up to the wall. He really wanted to join in with his brother and charge them. And I tell you, I'm just 8th edition. Because 2 Leviathans on the charge, even 1 Leviathan on the charge, I so want to shoot shots over there and charge this way. But you can't. I'm going to have to put all the rounds that I can into them. And then probably fail the charge because it kills so many off. They've got stealth and shrouded in turn 1 because of, well, they get stealth and shrouded because of Curze. And it's night time. So they might be able to survive a few shots. And then I can charge them. The blob moving over. These guys moving over, jumping on top. There's a nice charge there. These guys jumping into terrain. I'm aware that the Fire Raptor might be coming in next turn. One of them taking a wound as they come in. So some significant push from the Adeptus Mechanicus round the left flank. The push up the centre has been stilted, keeping my Terminators in the Spartan for now, ready for some later turn shenanigans, and still those 2 Rhinos in reserve as well. Opening up hostilities, the Condempted Dreadnought only killed one of these guys here, and you just told me what the rule was. Why did that happen?
So they've got, on turn 1, all of the troops have got a 5-up cover save, even in the open.
5-up cover save in the open, yeah.
And we've got night fighting.
So they had a 4-up save,
Yeah.
so all the rending shots, basically they chewed it up. And these guys got a 2-up at the moment because of the 5-up that they get in turn 1 plus stealth and shrouded.
Yeah.
Now it's beginning to make sense to me. And then I fired a heavy bolter. So the heavy bolters instead went into them because they only had a 3-up save because of ruins and nighttime, because that 2-up doesn't confer if you're already in cover, right?
That's correct, yes. It's just a straight 5-up unless it's better.
You're doing well. Your first game of Horus Heresy and you're remembering this better than me. Well done. And then the quad guns are going into the Sakaran anyway. Now he's got a 3-up because it is nighttime. I am firing through this ruin. But we thought we'd do this on camera because you never know, I could get lucky. 4 shots because I stayed still, twin linked. Well, I pivoted, but it counts as staying still. Strength 9, armor 13, I need 4s. And it's a glance and a pen.
Okay.
So 3 up on a glance.
Saved.
And 3 up on a pen.
Saved.
Deeply disappointing. Getting down to model eye view, he can't see any vehicles at all. So, but this one can see the edge of that Contemptor creeping around, so hitting on a 3, which hits, and it's strength 9, but roll 2d6, pick the highest. So that does pen the Contemptor, which gets its 3-up save. This is AP1. This is AP1. 5-6, and it's dead. And that's just a glance. And when I say that was just a glance, what I mean was it's just shaken, but at least it affects some of the firepower coming back in. Right, he's gonna charge that squad, so I might as well fire at that squad. They've got a 2-up save, so I'm gonna do it all off camera because it's probably not gonna kill anyone. And I killed 2 of them, which made me happy. So this Leviathan, we'll do this on camera just to show you the firepower. This is gonna fire into here. Starting off with the melter, he hits on a 2, and it's gonna wound on a 2, and you get your 3-up save, which you fail. Leviathan Storm Cannon hits on 2s, and I reroll 1s in my first turn of shooting because I've got Long March, Sons of Horus Thingybob. This is strength 7 AP3, so wounding on 2s, 4 wounds, but 4 3-up saves because of nighttime, and these 2 more. And they're closest now.
So look out, sir, on the sergeant. No, sergeant goes down.
Okay, and how many are left there?
2.
2. So, Volkite Calivers coming in. 2 shots each, twin linked, and there's 2 of them. So twin linked hit on 2s. They all hit. And this is strength 6, so wounding on 2s. 3 wounds. 3 3-up saves.
Oh, look at that.
And I did manage to wipe out a squad. I think that's the first thing I killed this turn, because I've only hit 1 of them, and 2 of these were hit, and that squad. Then the Ad Secularis Covenant fired their flashlights into the darkness at this squad here, and everything bounced. Moving along the line, some small arms fire from the Mitralox actually killed 1 in this squad, and now these guys are going to open up with their Volkite Incinerators in the squad. They wish to charge, but they hit on 4s. These are Assault 2 weapons, Strength 5, AP 5. So they're wounding on 3s. And that's 4 wounds, but they do have deflagrate if I manage to kill any.
So 1 goes.
1 is dead, and then with deflagrate, it doesn't do any more wounds. So I killed 2, and I think that's the end of my shooting phase. That's a dog going nuts. That's the end of my shooting phase. Any morale tests to make?
So
You're not fearless, are you?
No, I'm not. So this squad, and you killed the other squad. So
Yep.
it's just this one. And that's probably a fail.
No, it should be. If you've got a sergeant in there, they should be passing at
Terror
leadership.
squads, yeah, in fact, they're leadership 9.
Leadership 9.
Yeah.
So he's sticking around.
I would have quite happy to run.
That's the end of my shooting phase. Killed a squad. But you didn't kill much of mine. Actually, you did kill the artillery in the background, so you did quite well. However, I intend to kill a lot more. These guys are going to declare the charge first and try and eat the Overwatch before the Uzuraks go in. Actually, no, sod it. Let's do the Uzuraks first, because their Overwatch can kill a lot of these little guys, whereas the Uzuraks can take it. And the Leviathan is going to try a ridiculous charge in there as well. Okay, the squad of Uzuraks made it into close combat, and over here, now that's a 10-inch charge. I don't think Curze can hurt him in close combat. You've got melter bombs on the sergeant, and that could hurt him. And then you got hit and run.
Yep.
And I think I'm not going to charge. I'm not going to give you that free movement. No.
I'd like you to charge me.
No,
I'd
it's
like
not.
to then bounce off of you and move forward.
I know. It seems tactically astute if I didn't. Not just tactics, tabletop tactics there. Yeah, let's go on to the assault phase. Who strikes first? Charging units strike first, right?
That's 8th edition.
Okay, I think you strike first. Okay, territory striking first, +1 to hit, +1 to wound because they're outnumbered, and a bunch of attacks at initiative high. Basically, my initiative on the Uzuraks is 2. So that many hits.
So 2, 4, 6, 8 hits.
Yeah.
So I'm strength 4, your toughness 5.
5.
So
Got
normally a
+1
5, so back to a 4.
Yep, back to a 4 with +1 to wound.
Just the 3.
Just 3. And I can put these on any model now, can't I?
There's only 3 models.
4 up safe, with a 5 up feel no pain. A 1 takes a wound. 2 claws in the squads of Uzuraks, starting off with these. So it's 4 attacks for the claws on the charge, and we hit on 4s because we're weapon skill 4 versus 4, and that's only, is that 2 hits? How disappointing. Strength 5 with shred. So that's 1 wound at AP 3. And now we have the 16 power fist hitting on 4s. And that's a bit better. And there's another 3 there. Strength 10, because it's toughness 5 times 2. Yeah. Only 4 more in the end, but there was only 3 in total in that squad. And so I wipe out that squad and consolidate 1d6 in any direction. So they're just going to stand there. And that's the end of turn 1. I got 2 kill points. I killed 2 things. You've got 1 kill point. You killed 1 thing. We're about to descend into turn 2. It's still on a knife edge here. Still anyone's game. I've got the most penetration so far with the Uzuraks, but this night fighting shenanigans is tough to deal with. Okay, so you really want it to be nighttime still, because you ignore night fighting, and on a 4 up it continues. Does the sun come up?
Oh no!
So as the sun comes up, the Fire Raptor descends from out of the clouds, taking advantage of the fact that I moved the Contemptor, because it would get Skyfire and Interceptor if I stayed still. Now, Wobbly Model Syndrome, we're saying that it's up here. It's up on this drain piece. We put the base there. So the rending, sundering gun doesn't grant cover to that one. And then the other gun firing this way, and it can fire all over the place. He can fire all 4 missiles. With Power of the Machine Spirit, he can fire the main gun as well. And these 2 turret guns fire independently. So Fire Raptors, well, they fire a lot of firepower down. The squads are moving around the back, using the ruins as best as they can. Now the sun is casting long shadows across the ground, and his Contemptor now can bring all guns to bear versus my Contemptor. He's caught in a crossfire. He might not be there for very long. The Spartan did move to get shots this way and this way. That Contemptor stayed still. That Sakaran pulled round. Basically, there's going to be a lot of firepower washing into the Leviathans, and Curze didn't like the colour of their jib. Apart from the Melter Bomb on the Sergeant in that squad there, he can't hurt the Leviathans in close combat. So if he doesn't kill them, these Leviathans, at least this one, should go swinging into Curze. Instead, Curze senses the threat with the Uzurax, and they're surrounding the first squad here, ready to pounce. That does leave him open to a countercharge from the second squad of Uzurax here. But all of a sudden, there's going to be a mosh pit. There's going to be blood and oil spilt on this side of the battle grid. And if the Night Lords manage to pull this off, there should also be dead Leviathans in the centre on the table. Dead Contemptor. This could be a very painful turn for the Sons of Horus. So let's go into the shooting phase and see if the Night Lord's plan works. So going from right to left, Contemptor versus Contemptor. 12 shots hitting on 2s. Is that 12 hits?
That's 12 hits.
That's 12 hits. Strength 6, armor 13, so you need 6s because it's rending. And it's only just one rend. And the plus D3, that gets you up to strength 12. That's a glance. I have a fire up and run, which I fail. And I think these guys have three. So he's down to 2 hull points remaining. Next, you're doing the Fire Raptor?
I am indeed.
Fire Raptor. So you said let's do the Sundering gun down.
Well, this is heavy 4.
Yes.
That one doesn't have Sunder. It's the missiles that do.
Is it? Okay.
So I'm going to be firing that gun down there. This gun across. What's the side armor of this one?
13.
This is strength 7, I think. So
Yeah,
I'll fire at that.
Anyway.
And then the main gun's down at the artillery.
Okay.
And I'm going to fire all 4 of my missiles. No, I can't fire 4. I can fire 3, can't I?
You can fire 4 guns, and then this one with the Power Machine Spirit, so you can fire an extra gun.
So I'm just going to fire the whole lot down there.
What, at the artillery?
To try and deal with this artillery.
Okay, yeah, I would do that as well. Okay, so firing the 4 autocannons then at the Contemptor. 3s to, it's 2s to hit with strafing remnants, twinning.
So
Strength 7, side armor on a Contemptor is 12 or 13. Let's roll it up and let's figure out what it is.
Okay, so that's nothing. That would be nothing.
So that's probably a glance.
And a pen.
Glance and a pen. It's definitely side armor 12 on a Contemptor.
Just check it.
Yeah, glance and a pen because of, 8th edition. Okay, so 5 up on the glance, 5 up on the pen. It's dead. It dies. Does it explode? Oh no, you can't blow it up, so it will just be a wreck. That's another kill point, my friend. Boom. Second ball tyrant, independent tracking, firing at this Leviathan. 2s to hit. Strength 7, side armor 13 on the Leviathan, so you need 6s just to glance it. And you get a 6. He's only got 2 wounds left. I need a 4 up in bump. Haven't made a single one yet. He's down to 1 hull point left. 4 rockets coming into these guys. 2s to hit. Strength 6, so you need 5s because it's toughness. So
and what does the Sunder
Strength
do?
6. Sunder is re-roll armor pen against vehicles. They're not vehicles. What was the AP?
AP4.
AP4. So 2 3-up saves. And I make them. And then you got 7 shots with the Avenger twin-linked thingy-bob gun.
Strength 6.
Yep.
So twin linked.
Yeah.
So
Everything hit, but now you need
5s.
5s, yeah.
None.
None. So mission didn't work there. Didn't work. Hard rounds just bouncing all around this artillery squad here and into the tracks, but failing to wound them. Next, with a Contemptor, because it was snap firing, all its bullets went wild. The Leviathan is still breathing, but I think the Sakaran is probably going to pick on him as well, right? Or the Spartan.
Spartan first.
Okay, so you've got, what, all 4 guns? What are you doing with the
So
guns?
I'm firing this one through here.
Yep.
And this one with the power of the machine spirit is going to fire through at these. At this one here.
At that one
through
there.
the gap here.
Okay. Right, let's start off with this one, shall
Try
we?
and finish him if I can.
3s to hit. Twin linked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
that's 2
hits.
hits. Strength 9, front armor 13.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Bounced. And then
The next one
firing
through the gap.
Two
To both hits, you need 4s. You
glance.
get a glance. I get my 4-up save, which I make. Ineffectual, ineffectual, ineffectual. What's left?
This one.
All guns.
All
At
guns.
the wounded, steaming Leviathan. Okay, pull the trigger.
So
Good
2
luck.
las cannons. Both missed.
Both miss. That's unfortunate.
4 shots from the top right. Oh, actually, bear with me a second. 6 shots. 4 hits.
Twin linked.
Oh, forgot that. Call that 6 hits.
6 hits with the main gun. Strength 7 for number 13. You need 6s.
And it's rending, I think, as well. So just the one.
Is it rending? Certainly is rending. Okay, re-roll.
So
that's a pen.
that's a pen.
I have a 4 up. And I fail. Command point.
No, that's 8.
Took a lot of firepower to bring it out, but one of the Leviathans is now down. Only one left standing. The Contemptor over here is gone. So that was pretty effectual in the end. Now we're going over to this mess. Lots of small arms fire into the Uzurax, I guess.
Yes.
And they have a 4 up save, a 5 up feel no pain, but 3 wounds of peace. We'll do it off camera because it's highly unlikely that you'll probably kill. You might kill one, but unlikely more than one. So a volley of pistols and grenades came smashing in on the Uzurax, even pistols with these squads here because he wants to charge, and in the end only one died. And I think that's the end of the shooting phase.
Nope, still got a couple guys here.
Still got a couple of guys tucked under there ready to fire in. Let's do this as well. Small arms fire killed one of the Ad Secularis Covenant, and that is the end of the shooting phase. I don't have any morale tests to make. They're fearless. Only one died there. But as I said, I've lost 2 dreadnoughts in this turn. And now we've got some charges coming up. And the Primarch of the Night Lords is about to engage the Uzurax in close combat. Everybody manages to make it into close combat. No casualties taken on Overwatch. Now we've got some Hammer of Wrath coming in from the Raptors. 5s to wound.
So nothing there.
And then Curze
does D3. So he does
So he
3.
does all 3.
Strength 6.
Okay, wounding on 3s.
So 3 wounds from
3 wounds, and I had my 4 up save and my 5 up feel no pain. And Curze manages to wound 1, and now he swings. So Curze has 5 attacks, +1 for the charge, +1 for the paired weapons, mercy and forgiveness. Let's swing with him.
Okay, so 3s to hit.
Definitely. And are they mastercrafted or anything like that?
They are not mastercrafted, but
Okay.
they do have shred and
Okay.
murderous strike.
Nice.
So any 6s to wound are instant death.
Absolutely.
So 2 instant death.
And then
And he's at strength 6. So
toughness 5. So
So
2
1 and then
more. Yeah,
shred.
yeah. 2 more shredding.
So 3 instant deaths.
3 instant deaths and 1. Okay, so the wounded one obviously takes the first one.
Yep.
Then another dies. He slices through 3 of them straight like that. And then this one, it's AP low.
AP2.
So I'll only AP2. So I'll get my 5 up feel no pain, which I make. But he slaughters 3 on his own. Leaving a gap like this, because obviously you don't get feel no pain versus instant death weapons. That stung. So now the Raptors pile in, and we need to do a fear test. Didn't have to do it with Curze, he was hitting on 3s anyway. These are weapon skill 4 versus weapon skill 4. And they're leadership 8, but they're stubborn. Now stubborn works for morale tests or pinning tests, but not for just leadership tests. This is a flat leadership test, not a morale test. So their leadership is 8. It's -3 for Curze,
Yep.
and another -1 for
My terror
Terror
assault.
Squad. So I'm actually on leadership 4. Which I fail. So instead of hitting on 4s, you're now hitting on 3s. And you said there's 2 guys in there with power swords.
Yep.
So they're swinging away, hitting
That's
on
these
3s.
guys.
And
Missing with
that didn't
those.
help at all. Strength.
Strength 4.
Okay, 4 versus toughness 5. And they didn't do anything. Now we've got the other weapons from this big blob here. Here come the chainswords, 3s to hit.
1 miss. 5s to wound.
So
So
in the end, doing
2.
2 wounds, 2 4 up saves, and 2 feel no pains. Okay, 1 drops 2 wounds down to 1 wound left. So 1 will be on 3, 1 will be on 1. And then there's axes in there which will swing last, right?
But there's 2 guys with Nostraman chain glaives.
Is there? Okay.
So their strength +1, AP3 rending.
Sweet. I like
So
it.
that's these 2 guys.
3s to hit. With a Nostrum claimed. That's only 3 hits.
So 4s to wound.
Yes.
Your toughness 5.
Yes.
But
2 wounds. AP3.
AP3.
So 2 3 up, 2 5 up for no pains. So one guy now dies, and then he's on 2 wounds, and everything. Is that it for the AP Initiative 4 stuff?
I've still
In
got
this
these
squad.
2 squads to go. Yeah.
Yeah. So before they swing their power axes, then we've got normal punchy attacks from these
Yeah.
and these, the
And
troops,
these-
the terror squads.
And these are the equivalent of veterans.
Okay.
And they've got close combat weapons and pistols, so
Have
it's
they?
a volume of attacks.
Okay, so they've got 2 attacks base, plus the charge, plus the
Yeah.
2,
there's
so
4
4 attacks each. So in this squad of 5 guys, there's 20 attacks there.
Yep.
Because 4 times 5 is math, that's 20 attacks.
Well done.
Uh,
you don't normally do math well.
No, I don't normally do math very well. You've seen my battle reports. They're piling in.
And because you're already feared, I'll be hitting on 3s.
I'm still in fear, yeah. Everyone within 2 inches of a model that's in assault or not in assault. So is this the first
This
round
is the
of
first
20?
squad. Yeah.
First squad. 3s to hit.
Lots of 2s.
He's only got 2 wings left. Will he survive?
And then 5s to wounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 wounds, because if he doesn't die, I'm going to tie you up for a long time, because on morale test I am stubborn and I might be able to hang in there. So 4s to save, and I save 3 of them. 2 feel no pains, and he takes it. He's still on 2 wounds left, but now we've got the second squad of 20.
So this one's a little bit different.
Okay.
That I'll take 4 of them out. That's with a power sword. So this
Okay.
is normal.
3s to hit. That's a frightening number of hits again.
It's whether I can commute them to 5s, isn't
Yeah, whether you can get these 5s.
it? Or 1,
Yes, you
2,
can.
3, 4, 5, 6.
6 this time. I need 6. There's 6. 4 up save.
Wow.
And a 5 up feel no pains. Can I make both of these? Yes, I can. He's on 1 wound left. I make one of them.
Power sword.
Power sword. 3s to hit.
5s.
5s now. Nothing. Nothing.
That's
So
it.
you got axes in here.
Yep. But they're on initiative 1, so you'll.
So I'm going next. So I'll hit the, it doesn't really matter, one of these squads. I have 2 attacks and +1 for having claws. So I'm hitting on, I'm fearing you. I'm hitting on 5s. 1 hit. Strength 5,
Yep.
winning on a 3, AP 3. I kill 1 back.
Yep.
Make 1 bleed. Now how many axes have you got in
So
that
there's
squad?
2 guys with axes in there.
Yep.
So they're 3 attacks each.
Yep. Because of the charge, 3s to hit. Strength 5, toughness 5.
So
1 wound.
to save.
I've
so
got
it's just
1
feel
wound
no pain.
left. 1 feel no pain, and I tie up all of these guys. If I pass my morale test, I need a command point. He's dead.
Oh, I wanted you to make it.
He's dead.
Yes.
Did you?
I didn't want you to be able to
Why
shoot
did you
me.
want-
Because you can shoot me now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I wanted to jump in and slaughter them, and you know. Anyway, he's gone, and you may consolidate. And D6 for all of these squads, not just 3 inches towards the closest enemy model as an 8th edition, but D6 consolidating away.
However,
Anyway, go on.
Curze has a
Yes.
special rule
Does he?
that if he's in a fight
Yes.
where a squad is killed,
Yes.
it does this 12-inch bubble. Now these guys are fearless,
Yes, they are.
but a 12-inch fear test
Right.
with his -4.
With his -4.
Yes.
So suddenly they've got to take fear,
They've
which
got to
isn't
take-
a morale test, it isn't a pinning test, it's a leadership test at -4.
Yep.
Or what? I run away?
You
What
run away.
happens?
Yep. You start falling back.
Oh dear. Leadership 4. And they fail. And they are jump infantry, so they move 3d6. And they are frighteningly close to the table edge.
Let's see
So
those
I need to
ascends.
roll as low as Winters normally rolls. 12.
That's 12.
12. And so at the end of turn 2 for the Night Lords, 1 unit of Uzurax. Well, let's face it, they are a dangerous unit, have been entirely wiped out. And the other unit are falling back, so they will not be able to assault in my turn. And a Leviathan's down, and a Contemptor's down, and there's panic and terror all the way across the back lines. And the Night Lords are definitely in the lead. They've definitely wiped out a lot more units than I have. The Sons of Horus are going to need to respond and need to punch back very hard now. Also, we've got a patter of rain on the roof. Hopefully it doesn't get too loud, but at least the seagulls have shut up. So let's move on to turn 2 for the Sons of Horus and the Admech. All right, Let's do their leadership test. Leadership 8. And 1 hit the floor, but even if I roll a 6, they will get a chance to regroup. Phew. Okay, I finished my movement phase, and that took a long time for 2 reasons. 1, there's a lot of threats up there, and 2, I lost a significant chunk of my army last turn. These guys are now in cover, and they swung around ready to shoot and charge and sell their lives dearly and try and kill some. And then the Leviathan, this was a decision. Do I start going that way? Because I know Curze doesn't like him and take on some of the troops. But there is only one objective over there. Or do I throw far up the table? And in the end, I decided that I need to start throwing far up the table and stopping some of these heavy hitters, wiping my big guns out, my heavy hitters out. So far up the table, fire up the table. These guys shuffling around. The Fire Raptor, we've put the stand up here to signify where it was, because I was thinking about going that way round with the Spartan. Both of the reserves come on here, by the way. Thinking about going that way around with the Spartan. In the end, I decided to drive through this ruin and rubble and over here and kill him. He's a troop killer. He needs to die before my 20 troops get out. So I needed to roll not a 1 to get over there, and calamity. I rolled a 1. No command point, no auxiliary drive. My Spartan is now immobilized in the back line. Immobilized Spartan, 2 dreadnoughts down. The Uzarak's gone. This has suddenly turned into an uphill battle. Typical Winter's dice rolling coming into effect here. Keeping the Terminators inside for now. There is an objective there, there is an objective there, there is an objective there. There's still an effective charge range in turn 3 or 4. So keeping them in for now. And I want to see what Curze does after next turn. I could get them out. I could get them out this side. And no, let's leave them in for now. Let's leave it that way. 1 gun can now see him. The other gun is entirely blocked by the ruin. The idea was he was going to come over and shield these 2, fire 4 las cannons down into that, kill that troop killer. So my troops could then move up to this objective or move across, and now I'm stuck. So opening up the shooting phase, 1 quad las cannon going at the Mortis Contemptor. The other one would still be hitting the front of that flare shielded Spartan. I can just see the top of the Sakaran and the turret there. He'll be getting a 4 up ruin save. So the other shot might as well go at Sakaran. Anyway, let's try and kill this Contemptor. That was the plan. So firing the las cannons over here, 3s to hit with a twin linked. And I get 2 hits. Thank the Omnissiah. Strength 9, front armor 13. 1 pen. Please fail your 5 up and bun. You do. And it is AP2. On a 6 at least I can blow him up. Need a bit of luck. No, 2. Just shakes him. At least it neuters the power back for 1 turn. The other gun firing through the ruin at the Sakaran. 3s to hit. Both hit. Strength 9, front armor 13, I believe. And we have a glance. Just 1 glance. And you fail your ruin save. That smashes through. Sakarans only have 3 hull points. Firing the 2 laser arrays down at him. I am in range. 3s to hit. That's cocked. And twin linked. So they both hit. Strength 9, front armor 13. I need 4s. 1 glance, 1 pen. And I am giving Ian a 5 up cover save. So 5's on the glance. And the pen. He's still alive on 1 hull point left. So I wanted to fire the last Leviathan at him, but now I have to fire at the Sakaran on 1 hull point left. The only thing that can hurt is the Storm Cannon, strength 7, but with Sunder, I hit on 2s. Everything hit. Strength 7, front armor 13, I need 6s. And with Sunder, I get a reroll. That was nothing. No hits so far. 1 hit. And the Sakaran has been shaken to pieces. It took a lot of gun to do it, but at least it's dead. Then small arms fire. These guys, the Articularis Covenant, managed to kill 1 in this squad of 4, forcing a morale test.
Leadership 9.
Which they pass. And then over here, the combi bolters from here. 2 hits, 2 wounds, killed 2 in that squad. And another morale test, which they pass. And that's the end of my shooting phase. In your shooting phase, you killed 2 dreadnoughts. In my shooting phase, I killed a Sakaran. And that's it. I'm going to do an assault. These guys are going to assault just him. I'd love to combi charge them as well, but you've got Curze and you'll slaughter them all before I manage to get a swing in. Want to kill your troops. So they are assaulting them. We've got some Overwatch coming up. So 6s to hit. 2 hits. 3s to wound. 1 wound. 1 4-up save with carapace armor and 6-up feel no pain, which I fail. 1 dies. Can't fail the charge. Can't fail the charge. We're in. No fear test needed. They're fearless. 3 attacks each. Your Night Lord swinging hits. First. You're hitting on 3s and only get 4 hits there. 3s to wound. Only 2 wounds. 4-up save with carapace armor and I make it. There's 10 left. That's 20 attacks coming in on you. It might actually do something. I am only weapon skill 2, but you are weapon skill 4. So I still hit on 5s. 4s. 4s because it's not more than double. So 4s to hit. That was 11 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4. And 1, 2, 3, 3. Just 3 wounds there. 3 3-up saves. You fail 1. And you have got a leadership test at -1 now, because sweep and advance is a thing. Which you hold and you hold up and they pile in. And that's the end of that assault. And that's the end of turn 2 for the Sons of Horus with their ad-mech allies. Curze is on the wing here, and he's got some choice targets to get to as we move towards turn 3. The Leviathan is pushing up the middle, and the amount of gun coming back down range is going to be neutered a little bit. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Fire Raptor, because he's off the stand. I forgot about him. He's going to swing across, no doubt, and do some terrible, terrible damage. And the Land Raider, the Spartan being immobilized, that sucks. Anyway, the Night Lords continue their advance in turn 3. Stop raining, the seagulls are back, and the Shaking Contemptor moves this way round to get cover from the ruins, and he's entirely obscured from my Spartan. No more rounds going in that way. Don't know how I'm going to deal with that Contemptor later on in the turn, and I've also exposed my side armor to the Spartan, so the flare shield is negated. The Fire Raptor's zipping over as well. It's got shots with its autocannons at the rear of the Leviathan. Thankfully the rear of the Leviathan is still 12. We should be able to take it. And his Contemptor is backpedaling away from the Leviathan because it is a threat. Talking about threats, Curze is coming in to murder a second squad of Uzuraks coming in here. And these guys only got a 2-inch move through cover to relieve their brothers on this flank. So there's sweeping and clearing action here. If Curze smashes these guys, and let's face it, he should, then in turn, this is turn 3, then in turn 4 and 5, he's going to start rinsing along the back passage here. He can't hold objectives because in games of Horus Heresy, only troops can hold objectives, but I'm worried about my back passage getting rinsed open by Curze. You don't want a Primarch inside your back passage. So I think I might have to divert one of the Leviathans. What?
There's an image.
There's an image about my back passage. It is. It's along the backfield. And yeah, do I divert the Leviathan that way to take him and hold him and stop him going up my back passage? Or do I put the Leviathan forward in turn 3, turn 4, turn 5? It's an interesting game so far. What makes it particularly interesting is the beating that I'm taking and the number of troops holding these objectives at the end of the game. War of Lies, anyone could win this game. Very interesting stuff. Let's go on to the shooting phase in turn 3. In the shooting phase, this thing snap firing at a Rhino did nothing. The other Contemptor firing at full BS into the Leviathan got 3 hits and that many that's 12's armor 12 to pen, so this is D3 on the rend. So it's only 3 glances, in at the Leviathan. It's got 4 hull points and a 4-up and vulnerable save. And he loses 2 wounds, or 2 hull points. Then the Havoc launcher fired in to try and scatter this way, didn't do anything. Now onto this thing, the big gun firing at the Uzuraks and the autocannon trying to hit the Leviathan from behind. Reaper autocannon hitting on 2s with strafing run. That's nice. Strength 7, rear armor 12. And one more glance. One more 4-up and run. which I failed. Damn, I really need command points. He's down to 1 hull point left. Painful stuff. And then 7 shots with the big gun down into the Uzurax. Hitting on 2s.
Twin linked.
Everything hits. Strength 6, toughness 5.
3s.
Only 4 wounds. Now they are in ruins because part of your model is there. So 4 4-up saves. And 2 feel no pains. And the closest guy is him, and he will die to the onslaught of the Fire Raptor. Hello, doggy. Now moving across to the Spartan, firing all rounds into my Spartan. 4 shots with las cannons, 3s to hit, twin linked.
Gone for twin linked.
So 3 hits so far, strength 9, armor 14, looking for 5s and 6s.
1 pen.
1 pen, no cover. On a 6, that is a dead Spartan, don't do it in. No, instead that's just a shaken Spartan, and I breathe a sigh of relief. Dropping the Spartan down to 3 hull points because he already lost 1 when he got immobilized. And then small arms from the squads back here, trying to force a morale test on the artillery on the laser destroyers, didn't do anything. And then the Raptors with Curze firing in at this squad. Curze got some precision hits and put them on him, but he's still alive with 1 wound left, and that's the end of the shooting phase for the Night Lords. Now we're on to the assault phase. In the assault phase, the 2nd Tactical Squad joining their brothers over here, and then Curze and his Raptors got a big charge, and we've got a lot of Hammer Wraths in at these Uzurax. Is it 8?
So there's 8 from the Night Raptors themselves.
Yep. And 5s to wound.
3 wounds.
3 wounds, 3 4-ups with a 5-up feel no pain. So 1 takes a wound, I'll put it on a claws guy.
And then Curze does D3, so just the 1, strength 6, that's a wound to save.
4-up, and he's saved. So 1 takes a wound when they come smashing in. Now I have a leadership test because of the fear thing again, looking for a 4. I roll a 5. Rolling low for winters as usual, but not low enough. So Curze starting off with 7 attacks on the charge, hitting on 3s. Giving him a good shake there. Ooh, only 3 hits. He is wounding on 3s, I think it's base strength.
Can I just check something a moment?
You can check something. 3 hits.
Looking for 6s to instant death. No, just the
With tread, you can re-roll that 1.
Thank you for reminding me.
Okay, so that's 3 wounds.
AP2.
No instant death this time. AP2, so 3 5-up, feel no pains, and I'm going to put it on the closest guy next to Curze, which is him. Just need to make 1 of these, and I make 1 of them. Yay. Right, because we've got multiple guys wounded, and there's attacks coming in from chainswords and power axes and Nostraven and glaives, we're going to do all these attacks off camera because it's going to take a very long time otherwise. At the end of the combat, it looks like this, and I lost 3 models. Managed to kill 3 of the Night Lord models as well. Curze whiffing a lot of his attacks there. I lost, but I'm leadership 8, stubborn. This is a morale test, so there's no negatives. And I pass, locking up Curze and his squad, and the puppy is attacking the other dog down below the table. Carnage, carnage. Right, then coming up here, the power sword swinging into the Covenant. 3s to hit, and 3s to wound. No wounds, that's the power sword gone. And this is 16 attacks, plus the other 6 from these guys, because they're veterans with 2 close combat weapons, so that's 22 attacks coming in the Covenant. Can they hold? 3s to hit, and 3s to wound. That is a lot of misses. These guys are whipping so far.
3s to wound, yeah?
Yep.
Wow.
That sucks. Well, that's good for me.
That was a miss. So
how many did you
2, 4, 6, 7.
Because I really want to hold up these squads for as long as possible here. Bear in mind that there's an objective there, and they're troops. Everyone here can score. So 7 wounds with a 4. Would you mind? We're trying to play 40k.
Gizmo, stop.
4 up. Grr, the dog, and a 6 up for no pain. Okay, 3 of the Covenant will die. Now I hit back. 3 into the newcomers, 4 into that squad. So into the newcomers, 4s to hit. They all hit. 4s to wound. No wounds. And then the 4 into the squad that has only got 2 men remaining. Forced to hit. 2 hits and forced to wound. No wounds. One big slapfest there, but I do lock up his troops in this tar pit, keeping him away from that objective. Can I hold him there until turn 6? Remember, this game ends automatically on turn 6, not 5 or 7. It's a flat turn, end turn thingy-bob. Just finishes on 6. And we forgot that the Night Lords were outnumbered, so Ian didn't get his extra attacks there, so we'll remember it next time round. Curze and his Terror Squad Raptors are locked up here with the 2 remaining Uzuraks. Yes, they're going to die next turn. Do you want to hit and run and break out of there so I can shoot you in my shooting phase?
I would absolutely love not to.
You'd love not to. Okay. The Leviathan on 1 wound left. I need to respond. I think it's time to get the Terminators out. Let's go on to Sons of Horus, turn 3. Here we are after my movement phase, and it's time to bring terror to the Night Lords. My unit of Terminators are out. The Praetor's boots are on the table, and I need to kill, kill, kill. So with that in mind, that Contemptor's on 1 hull point left, as is my Leviathan, and he is in range of the Storm Cannon. Kill him should protect some troops. And here's my redundancy plan, because there's an objective there, and there's a few objectives here, 2 more objectives there. Need to get them out. It's turn 3, then turn 4, then turn 5. And should be able to clear away this side of the battle grid here. Need to clear away this side of the battle grid here, because Curze is on this side of the battle grid there. So you'll see a notable shift from the left to the right. I've moved my rapier batteries as well, because they couldn't see anything. So now I can snap fire at the Spartan. The side gun on this can either hit the Spartan or fire up at the Contemptor Dreadnought there. That's it, all very simple. Need to bring guns to bear. Let's face it, Curze is going to slaughter them, and then in my turn, and then jump over here, and then his turn, slaughter something else as well. So he's coming. There's not much I can do about that. And just brace myself ready for that assault. Anyway, let's go on to the shooting phase, and let's try and kill something. Alright, so absolutely must kill this Contemptor Dreadnought, hitting on 2s with the Leviathan Storm Cannon. Everything hits. This is strength 6, side armor 12, strength 7, side armor 12, and Sunder. Nothing so far. Here's the reroll, looking for 5s. We have 1 pen, 1 5 up and 5. Don't you do it. No! And the Contemptor's still alive. Okay, rapier batteries can only see the Spartan. 3 6s to hit because I moved twin linked. Nothing at all. They wouldn't have done anything anyway. But the Spartan can see the top of that Mortis Contemptor poking out over the thing. I stayed still, so that gun going that way. And his other guns are entirely useless, entirely blocked. So 2 quad rerolling to hit. 2 twin linked las cannons. That hits strength 9, front armor 13. Nothing, just bouncing. Popping smoke on Rhinos 1 and 2. Now the Terminators are going to see how many guns they can bring to bear versus that Terror Squad. Then the Terminators unloaded into them, managing to kill 2. So I've got a morale test. They've got a morale test to make before the Terminators try and charge. So would you like to make a morale test? Which you pass, leadership 9,
yeah.
And we measured it beforehand. It is a 9-inch charge. Let's see if I make it before you fire Overwatch. A 4 and a 1. That's definitely not a charge, and that's the end of my turn 3. That is it. I failed to kill the Mortis Dreadnought. I've killed 2 Night Lords. That's the end of everything I've got. Now we're going on to the assault phase over here, and I'm going to say goodbye to my Uzuraks. So we did the Overwatch over here, no wounds taken on the Terminators, and then around here the first bit of luck that happened this turn, he did kill one of my Ad Secularis Covenant, but I killed 1 in that squad and killed the other 2 in this squad, just rolling lots of 5s and 6s there. He held morale, but now the tide has turned in this little battle. My Fearless Covenant pushing these troops back, and that's an objective there. So with that in mind, Curze and his Raptors absolutely slaughtered those last 2 Uzuraks, and Ian made the correct tactical decision. Now he could have come around here and next turn slaughtered them, but he wouldn't have been able to score that with his troops, with his guys here, because they're not troops. You can only score with troops or those with a rule that allows you to score, such as the Terminators have, forget what it's called. But he could have come around here and sown sweet murder and not scored anything at all. And if I continue to win like I'm doing here with my 4 up, my 6 up, feel no pain, and score that one, he'll lose some objective points there. So he's decided to pull back, pull away, and try and rescue this tactical squad. However, he's placed them in this. I imagine Curze is going to go off on a merry dance on his own. He is a Primarch. He can take it. End of the movement phase for the Night Lord. Some interesting decisions made. The Contemptor pulling to the right. The Fire Raptor dropping in VTOL mode. Ready to lay down some firepower. Probably into this artillery squad again. And these guns, one of them could hit one of the rhinos over here. But VTOL mode is dangerous stuff. Because my second in command, the Archmagos Prime there, has got a Machinator array, which is a melter. He puts Ceramic Platon on his Fire Raptor, and he hopes that Curze will be able to swing round into combat. That as if he doesn't fail to charge into that big squad there. Curze has broken free, and the Raptors, they are Raptors, right?
They are.
Jumping all the way around here to slaughter those Covenant. Rescue that terror squad and let them fall back onto objective 4 and score that one. So that's what's happened there. Then up the table we've got a screening unit and another 2 guys there close to this objective. Screening coming here, another screen happening there. The other 3 HQs staying inside the Spartan. So boots, more and more boots are appearing on the ground, and as we look across the table I am essentially trapped in a corner of the board. It looks like the trap set by Conrad Curze and the Night Lords has worked. He's pushed the Sons of Horus back, and now he means to make them bleed. Fire Raptor firing one of the ball guns at this thing here, the other one into the side of the Leviathan, and the guns down into the artillery here. So opening up hostilities with
this one
the Leviathan. 2s to hit because you're veto.
3
7,
hits,
side armor 13. Don't get a 6. 1 6. 1 4 up and vulnerable sable. The Leviathan's gone. I really need to make this. This is an important asset, and I make it. Now the other 4 shots coming into the Rhino. 2s to hit. Strafe and run still works if you're in VTOL. They all hit strength 7. Side armor 11. 4s, 3 glances and a pen. I did pop smoke. So here's the pen and the glances. And I make it, just fading 2 there. He's got 1 hull point left. Now the big gun going on the artillery. 2s to hit, twin linked. Okay, we got 7 hits, 5s to wound.
So 1 rend.
1 wound. And he's the closest model. He dies. Underwhelming from the Fire Raptor. Now we've got these guys firing in at the Terminators. Assault 2 weaponry. So 3s to hit. And that's 9 hits. It's strength 5 Volkite charges.
1 2 3 4 5 6.
6 wounds. 6 wounds. 6 2-up Terminator saves coming up. 1 dice. 1 die to that far. Didn't take another casualty due to deflagrate, and then that squad opened up. Those little guys there killing 2 more. Essentially, from small arms, I've lost 3 Terminators so far. Brutal stuff. Now the Spartans joining in, firing at the Terminators.
So the 2 las cannons at full ballistics.
Full BS, yeah.
Twin
It
linked.
moved, but with Power of the Machine Spirit, you get those extra shots.
Just the 1.
Just 1 wound. 4 up and vulnerable save because it's cataphracty, which I fail. I keep failing saves. 1 dead, and then 3 snap firing with a heavy bolter. 2
Twin linked.
hits. Twin link.
Just the 1. Looking for a 3. And
Looking
that's
for a 3.
wound.
Another wound. Can I make a 2-up save?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, I can. However, we've got 4 Terminators dead so far, leaving only 6 left and the Praetor. Then Curze fired in with his Widowmakers into this shot. All precision hits hitting him, but not doing any damage. Now he has to deal with the Leviathan, so the Contemptor is going to try and finish off the Leviathan.
So first of all, I'm just going to try the Havoc launcher with try and get a lucky scatter. So that's over here somewhere.
Yep.
Nothing. And then 2.
But I appreciate the idea. Try to bounce it off the top. Dunk.
It would be
Trying
nice.
to bounce it off the top of his hull and into these
Small
guys.
blast would have got a few maybe.
Yep. 2s to hit with your guns, Curze assault cannons.
So Nick looking for 6s.
Looking for 6s, strength 6, side armor
2.
13, 2. And we have
Glances.
2 more glances. I have 2 4-up invulnerable saves to make, or the Leviathan is dead. The Leviathan is dead. He is wrecked and he is a boiling mass. That's it. A heavy, heavy blow with the Leviathan. Now the last Condemptor firing its Havoc launcher here. Blasts. It's a long time since it's twin linked.
Twin linked. So
Last time since I've seen blast templates.
on time.
You both hit. So you need a 6 for this one.
So this is for the undamaged one. No. And try
Undamaged
and take
one.
that last wound.
No. No.
Never mind.
So 12 shots into him. Hitting on 2s. And
All
that's
hit.
12 hits. Strength 6, front armor 11, 5s. And there's a cocked.
There's 3 anyway. But you've got smoke, haven't you?
Yeah.
So 3 pens and a glance.
3 pens and a glance. Glance.
Ooh.
3 pens. I make 2 of the saves.
See
So
what they
2
are.
go through. What does it do?
2 6s will kill you, won't it? 2.
No, because its rending is AP dash versus vehicles. It's AP2 versus
The 2
things with
6s
wounds.
would be 2 immobilised.
Oh, would be, yeah. 2 6s would be 2 immobilised.
Hope for too much.
No, so it's stunned and shaken. It's just stunned and shaken. So he's on 1 hull point. He's on 1 hull point. That one can move. That one can't move. And I think that's it for your shooting phase.
I think it is.
That is indeed the end of the shooting phase. So leadership 10 on my Praetor's unit, the Terminators. Don't run away. Thank you. And then leadership 8 because I took a casualty in the artillery squad there. And they hold as well. Small mercies. Then in the assault phase, Curze makes it into the Covenant without taking any overwatch. And the Raptors make it in over here. And that combat was a foregone conclusion. The Raptors swiping through them with ease. Now we're on to Curze and the Ad Secularis Covenant. He's just out of range to issue challenges. Curze will go first. D3 Hammer of Wrath. That's 3 hits, wounding on 2s. Is this AP dash?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, 4-up save. And 6-up feel no pains. So he kills 1 just as he goes charging in there. And then he has a lot of attacks.
So he has 7 attacks.
Yeah, on the charge, yeah.
Hitting on 2s
Yep.
because of the outnumbered.
Hitting on 2s because he's outnumbered, yeah.
And then wounding on 2s. So 2, 4, 5.
And he's strength 6, so I don't get any feel no pain, so he just wipes out 5 straight away. Which looks like this, then I get to pile in. Here we are after the pile in, so I've got 9 that are in base or within an inch of a guy in base, or 2 inches, whatever it is. And the same with my second in command, so 9 attacking, plus my second in command. The Covenant hit on 5s, and that's actually 4 hits. 5 hits, that's amazing. They wound on 6s, however, and they don't do any wounds. Then Archmagus Prime Lagra has an extra attack +1 for a pistol and a Volkite Serpenter. He's weapon skill 4, so he's going to be hitting on, or weapon skill 5, sorry, he's going to be hitting on 4s. And it's mastercrafted, because I pay for it. That many hits. It's a power axe at strength 5, toughness 6, so I need 5s to wound. And I do 2 wounds. Curze is a 4-up and bun.
Takes 2 wounds.
He takes 2 wounds. Then the Machinator Array strikes, and this hits on 4s. 1 hit, and this is also strength 5, but with shred. Shred. Doesn't do any wounds at all, but I hurt Curze twice. You might as well roll your 5 up. It will not die now, because it happens at the end of your turn. Okay, Curze only takes 1 wound. So that's the end of turn 4 for the Night Lords, and they are doing the business. They've cleared this side of the battle grid and will definitely be scoring that objective there. And they have wiped out the last of my Dreadnoughts. Essentially, I've got some Terminators and the artillery pieces that can still speak. and 20 troops inside, some rhinos, and that's it. Night Lords are definitely winning this war of attrition. Curze has got hit and run, but choosing to stay in that combat for now. No doubt going to jump out next turn. So let's go on to Sons of Horus, turn 4. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. The squads inside passed their leadership test last time. We did that off camera. Need to kill that. Plasma, I've got combi plasma in there, but it'd be 6s to glance because of front armor 13. However, this squad with the combi plasma in the side there would be 5s to glance. Want to kill that, which leaves me very, very exposed to 1, 2, 3 squads plus the triple HQs that are in there. So the Terminators are pushing up the table. Thought long and hard about bringing them round to take on Curze, but let's face it, I can't kill Curze in one round of combat. I need as much as I can, and he can just jump away from me anyway. So pushing hard this way, trying to avoid the Primarch of the Night Lords. So let's go on in the shooting phase, opening up. These two guns are going to fire at that. Do you wish to jinx, sir? Because jink is a thing now.
Yes, please.
Yeah. 4s to hit. They both hit. Strength 9, armor 12, I need 3s. And I re-roll because it's a laser destroyer. So pen, pen. 2 pens, 2 4-up jinx. You don't make either of them. It's got 4 hull points, but this is an AP1 round. And it's an immobilized and shaken Fire Raptor. Next up, the Spartan now could spin the laser away and go... It's immobilized now, right? So it can't jink this shot. So this laser, this las cannon is going to fire at it. And the heavy bolter with Power and Machine Spirit is going to fire at that squad there. Let's do the heavy bolter first. 3s to hit. They all hit. 3s to wound. 1 wound.
Saved.
And save. Now let's do the Twin Link las. Dual las. Twin linked. Come on. Okay, Twin Link coming into effect there. 2 hits. Strength 9. Glances just 1 glance, which means the Fire Raptor has got 1 wound left. Not enough gun. Then the Terminators shot at them. To be honest, I wanted some small arms to kill some of this squad in the way, because there was some small arms coming from the Rhino as well, which were snap firing, and I didn't kill any. In the end, I only killed 1 in that squad. And now we're around here. Need to kill this Contemptor. So I'm going to fire my combi plasma first from here into him. 3s to hit. 1 hit. I need a 6. I don't get a 6, which means this squad is going to have to fire him. I'd have preferred to fire that way to clear the path for the Terminators. But I have to fire the Contemptor. So let's chuck a grenade. That's a hit. Strength 6 on armor 12. Doesn't do anything. And now the combi plasma have to kill the Dreadnought. A 4 and a 5, that's 2 hits. Strength 7, side armor 12, looking for 5s. 1 pen. And you save it again. And the Contemptor lives. So after that abysmal shooting attack, the Terminators declared a multi-charge across these 2 units. You have to engage the unit that was your primary before you could get into the secondary. So that failed, because I wanted to clear away. It would have been a straighter shot, but it still failed. And then around here, the second in command, the Archmagos Malagra, is now in close combat with Curze. He took 2 wounds because he's got a 3-up invulnerable save, and managed to put 1 wound on Curze. So that's the end of that combat. Curze is down to 4 wounds. He wants to hit and run. You need to roll a 6. Because if you rolled a 6, you'd be locked in combat.
Yeah, I know.
So you get to jump 3d6 inches. Coming down towards my lines, going 13 inches. That's the end of turn 4. Let's descend to turn 5 for the Night Lords. This is turn 5 movement. 1 more turn after this, and it looks like the trap is well and truly sprung. While the Fire Raptor is immobilized and will be snap firing, Curze is going to destroy that artillery once and for all. And coming up behind him are the Raptors. They achieved their mission in the backfield. They're ready to spring into action in the very last turn of the game and potentially wipe this troop unit out. Meanwhile, the troop unit that they rescued has fallen back and onto that objective there. Contemptor coming around the edge. And here we have the rest of the trap. The 3 HQ Sevatar and the Chaplain coming out, and they've joined the squad with the Volkite chargers. It looks like there's a charge coming on, and that'll be a dead troop slot. He's got his guns to bear. There was a troop unit hiding behind there on this objective for the whole game, and they've come round the corner as well. The Spartan did move, but we've got a lot of guns being brought to bear on the Terminators as well. At the end of this turn, there may be very little left of the Sons of Horus. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Interrupting the shooting phase here, the fire raptor spraying all over the place. Shots up here, shots down there. Didn't do any damage at all because it's shaken. These guys running forward. Some shots from there and some shots from the Mortis Contemptor have slaughtered about 6 of the Adsecularis Covenant here. That hurt quite considerably. Curze has already thrown his batarangs into the artillery, didn't do anything. Then around here, this squad, Psychic Powers and Sevatar blocked, has killed 3 in this squad with Volkite charges there and pistols, and I elected to put some of the saves on my sergeant. The sergeant's dead, so 3 are dead in that squad. They'll be taking morale tests. Now the Contemptor is firing at one of these rhinos, filming this because this will change the shape of the battlefield. At the moment, we've got some guys dead there, some guys dead there, but he's now firing at this rhino with the squad in, and it's 2s to hit. And you need 5s. And just 1, and it's got 1 hull point left, so they get out. It's a wreck. Are they snap firing? No. Are they pinned? No. It looks like this. Small arms, pistols coming this way as well, doing nothing to that squad. And next.
So the Spartan firing at these guys. Oh no, actually, before I do that, these guys, before I lose rapid fire range, shooting at those.
A rapid fire coming in on the Terminators. That's 10 shots.
A few misses there.
A few misses. 7 hits. Winning on 4s.
So just the 2.
Just 2. 2 2-ups. And I make it.
And
Squad in front.
3.
See how many Terminators you can kill.
So 3 hits.
3 hits.
1 wound.
1 wound. 1 more save. 1 more save. Now the Spartan.
So snap shooting the heavy bolter and firing one of those with it. So I'll do the snap shoot heavy bolter first. 1 hit so far, but twin linked. So 2 hits. 2 wounds. 2 wounds. 2 2-ups. You kill 1. 1's dead, and now we've got the 4 las cannons coming in. Twin linked, thankfully.
So that's 4 hits. 2's to wound.
So 4 wounds.
4 wounds. 4 4-up cataphracti invulnerable saves. And I make 1. So 2 Terminators die, taking these 2 away, and it looks like this. And that's the end of the shooting phase. We have a wrecked rhino, some dead Terminators. This squad down here are fearless. You did do 25% casualties there, so leadership 10. And I hold my ground. Over here, 25% casualties, and you killed the sergeant. And I hold my ground. So now there's some assaults coming up. During the charge subfight phase, Curze made it in, didn't take any wounds to Overwatch. Still got 4 left. Over here, I did wipe out one of the guys with the Volkite Cavaliers before they came coming in, and let's do some assaults. Let's face it, Sevatar, he's initiative 6 with a chaplain in this squad. He should make short work of them on his own. First up, fear at -1. I am not afraid of you.
Okay, so hitting on 3s.
He's got 4 attacks plus 1 for the charge.
Yep.
Any extra weapons?
No, his weapon that he's got is 2-handed for close combat.
Yep.
So
do I outnumber you? Yes, I do. So you're hitting on 2s.
So hitting on 2s and
Yep.
mastercrafted.
Yep. This is at initiative 6, so 6 hits.
And strength 5.
Strength 5, lovely.
AP 3. So 2.
Sevatar kills 2.
Oh, sorry, 3 because it's +1 to wound as well as to hit when I'm outnumbered.
Yeah, so he kills 3,
Yep.
and then the remaining squad no longer outnumber me when we go to the next initiative step. Is that how that works?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
So then the chaplain.
Is that an unwieldy mace?
Yeah, he's got Cruzius Arcanum.
Okay.
I don't think they're unwieldy though.
I think they're unwieldy. Your Praetor will go next.
No, they're not unwieldy.
They're not unwieldy?
Nope.
Okay.
So he's 4 attacks.
Yeah, hitting on 3s.
So 5 on the charge.
Yeah.
But
Reroll
re-rolling
the
all of
hit.
them.
Okay.
Straight 6.
Yeah.
So 3 wounds.
3 wounds. 3 ups.
Saved those.
Save them.
Then the Praetor is 4 attacks, 5 on the charge.
Yes.
So
3s to hit.
3s, re-rolling because of the Zealot.
Everything hits. You just gave him a power sword, right?
Yeah, just an ordinary sword. I didn't have the points
Okay.
in the end.
2
2 wounds to
wounds.
save.
Yep, the Praetor kills 2, then these guys pile in, and then they do their damage. This wasn't as brutal as I thought it would be. I thought everyone would be wiped out by now.
They're 4 attacks each on the charge because they're veterans with close combat weapons and.
Okay, so this is going to be brutal.
So
4s to hit, re-rolling. That's a good chunk of hits and 4s to wound. There's only 2 guys left.
One more wound.
And you do 1 wound. And I save it. So I get to strike you back. And I hit on 4s. And I hit once and I wound on a not that. So yeah, so I take a leadership test, minus a lot. Which I fail because I'm leadership 8. I lost 5 guys, so I definitely fail. So initiative roll off. Sevatar's initiative 6. Plus 3, 9. I'm at 10. For some reason I lock you up.
But you have a -1 leadership because of my.
-1 initiative. That's
initiative, sorry.
It's an initiative test for sweep and advance.
So we stay locked.
So we stay locked.
You can't shoot me.
No. That is probably the best result for you there. Because you'll definitely slaughter them in my turn and then come charging through over here in turn 6. Then Curze hits on, he's outnumbered, so he's hitting on 2s. And this is against the artillery, the ground unit, so he's wounding on 2s. And they're dead. So because Curze slaughtered a unit in hand-to-hand combat, everything within 12 inches of him takes a leadership test at -4. They're fearless. They're not. My Praetor's leadership 10, -4 is leadership 6. Need to roll low here. And I fail. Does that mean I'm falling back?
It does.
Terminators are falling back 8 inches. Here we are at the end of turn 5. I've got a tactical squad and a rhino on 1 hull point left. I've got a falling back unit of Terminators and that's it. You're definitely winning on command points. I need to take as many of these objectives as I can and hope and pray that in turn 6 you roll a lot of 6s for -D3 points a pop. Mind you, at the end of the turn I've got to take a leadership test on them, haven't I? You didn't
no,
sweep the...
we did that then, didn't we?
Yeah, but yeah.
You've already done your leadership test.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 8th edition in my head, like the leadership test at the end of a game turn. It's looking brutal. You've got a lot of stuff left on the table. I've got very little. Let's go to turn 6 for the Sons of Horus. Here we are after turn 5 for the Sons of Horus. So I cleared out that squad here. Death Dealers coming into effect there, hitting on 2s at this close range, even though one of them was a sergeant with artificer armour. And then round here, the las cannon from the Spartan did what it should have done last turn, to be honest. Blew the Fire Raptor out of the sky. No casualties taken when it went boom. These guys snap firing at Curze, doing nothing. These guys firing up the table at the Raptors, doing nothing. Essentially, I killed a Fire Raptor and 2 Space Marines. And I'm girding my loins, getting ready for this assault, wondering what Curze is going to go at. Oh, and the Spartan as well, shot up the table. There was a squad of 3 here. Now there is 1 left, trying to clear away these scoring options. We're about to descend into turn 6 for the Night Lords, and I just remembered that we haven't done this combat. So we'll resolve this combat first. And those 2 Space Marines died. Sevatar dispatched them with ease. Then they consolidate in this direction, and now we descend into turn 6, the last turn of the game. So the Night Lords are definitely winning this war of attrition. How much more can they kill? And how many points will these objectives be worth in this war of lies? Right, here we are in the movement phase. This squad splitting up one more time. Those 3 are here, ready to run through the gap and take this objective, assuming that the Dreadnought and Sevatar and the Chaplain and the Praetor manage to slaughter this squad, and that will be one objective. There's a squad here going around scoring that objective. We did the run for this lone hero already, but he didn't get close enough to that one. So that's 1, 2 they're looking for. They've got this one as well. So at the moment they've definitely got 2. They've got that one and that one. They've definitely got 2. The one in the centre is no one's. And they're looking to get these other 2 down here, and Curze himself is going to go solo into the Terminators, the second in command, the Archmagos Dominus, and the Praetor, and the Raptors are going to try and sweep into this squad here. This could be a beautiful slaughter for the Night Lords as the plan comes together. Contemptor firing in, the blast hits, covering 6, winning on 3s. That's 3 wounds. Killing no one, and now we've got 12 Horus assault cannon hits coming in as well. Hitting on 2s. 11 hits, wounded on 2s. With 2 Rens, 3 Rens. I am in cover, I am obscured.
Yeah.
So
2,
3 5 ups,
6,
or is it
7
4
others.
ups? I forget what it is. I'll make 2 of them anyway,
Yep.
and then 6 others.
2, 8, 7.
3 ups. So 1's dead. 2 is dead. Only 2 die from the Horus Contemptor. Interesting. Then the Praetor fired, then rolling a 5 for the run move for this squad, charging up towards this objective. And the squad come busting through the gap to contest that objective there. So that's contested so far. They might not be alive in the assault phase then. And then we move across the line.
So I've got 3 single shots here.
At the Terminators.
2 single shots rather.
Okay.
Only 2 can see.
Okay.
So
2 hits. 1 wound. 1 dies, of course. 1 dies. Spartan.
So the Spartan didn't move this time. So
Okay.
heavy bolters. Obviously still firing
Yeah,
here.
twin
Twin
linked.
linked. Oops. So 3 hits, looking for 3s. Just the 1 wound.
1 wound. 1 survives.
And then the last cannons. Twin linked. So 3 hits.
2's to wound.
3 wounds.
3 wounds. First guy is this chap. 4 up. He's dead. Now 2 lookout sirs on my Warlord, which I make, and then I need to make 2 4-up saves, which I make. So just him dies, and that's what it looks like. Just 2 Terminators, the Praetor and the Archmagos left.
Okay, so then Widowmakers. So
Widowmakers.
His little knives. He hit 3 times. No wounds.
No wounds. Next.
This one. Dropping the pie plate there.
Drop in a pie plate.
So
It's
6,
twin linked.
7, 8. Yeah, go on, let's have another go. So that's on time.
That's a hit. That will be 3 hits.
Strength 5.
That'll
3
be 3 wounds.
So closest model's the Magos.
Yeah, let's do him on him. And he's got 1 wound left. He's dead. I don't think it makes much difference at this stage of the game. And now you've got your 12 Horus assault cannon shots coming in.
3 misses. So 2 rend and 5 armour.
Okay. 5 armor saves. Another Terminator dies and 2 Rens.
Yep.
2 more Terminators die, leaving the Praetor staring down Conrad Curze. I would not want to be him. Then after that slaughter in the centre, some small arms fire coming from the backfield, and from there into the Ad Secularis Covenant. 1 dies, and my Praetor stands alone, and he needs to make a leadership test of 10. And he's holding, but if I was him, I would run away, because we're about to go into the assault phase. In the assault phase, the Raptors make it in. Curze makes it in. No wounds suffered. And over here, Sevatar and the Chaplain, they fail the charge. In the assault phase, the Raptors slaughter the Covenant, and now Curze has D3 Hammer Ras rolled a 3, so
2.
he does strength 6.
Yeah, 3 then.
So 3 wounds, 2 up save. He manages to withstand that, but now we have all your attacks coming in.
Indeed.
And you're hitting on 3s. I'm not outnumbering you for once. So that many hits, that's 6 hits. He's wounding on 2, so that's 6 versus toughness 4.
So that one ignores invulnerable.
Okay, 6s ignores invuln, just burns straight through. And then the 4 other ones are 4 up invulnerable.
Sorry, apologies. It's instant death on a roll of a 6, but you do get your save.
That's instant death on a roll of a 6. But I get 4 up invuln.
But you do get a 4 up invuln.
4 up invuln, or my Praetor is dead. He's dead. Slay the Warlord. And Curze takes down the Warlord of the Sons of Horus. Mission accomplished, and with it will not die. He recovers a wound. Here we are right at the end of the Sons of Horus's turn. What I did was fire everything into this squad, and the Sergeant was second in the line, so he tanked lots and lots of shots. Would have wiped them out if it wasn't for that Artificer armor. In the end, I did enough to kill them so far back. He passed his morale test, but kill them so I control an objective at the end of the turn. And then on the Spartan, I tried to kill that unit and that unit. That unit with the quad bolters failed, and I blew off the arm with a Contempt to Dread, hoping to blow it up, because that would have been a point, and that would have been a point because of War of Attrition. In the end, I didn't get any extra points for killing stuff, but I do score an objective here. And the Night Lords, well, the only objectives they control is this one back here and this one over here, because there's a chap just down the edge there. They control 2. No one controls this one. Contemptor can't score. And Curze can't score this one. He can just gloat in amongst the blood and the bodies on the ruins of my original castle. All that's left of the Sons of Horus and their allies is a rhino, an empty Spartan, and some chaps. That's it. He came here just for sport, just to show the Sons of Horus what he could do while Lupercal was away. And yeah, well, he showed the Sons of Horus just what he could do, which was kill absolutely everybody. It's 14 points to the Night Lords and 7 points to the Sons of Horus. We're going to roll for my objective first. And a roll of 4, that's worth 2 more points. That gets me to 9 to 14. And you've got 2.
No more 6s, please. So the first one
is a 6.
Minus D3.
Minus D3.
So the D3 is just the 1.
You go to 13 points.
And then the other one is
2. You go up to 15 points, and Slay the Warlord is 16 points. It's definitely a victory for the Night Lords here. This is the way the world ends. It ends in ruin and blood. Conrad Curze and his Night Lords have swept across this battlefield like a force of nature, killing everything in front of them. Thank you very much for watching. Happy wargaming.